Hello boaters, I'm Brian from Canvas Factory in Pompano Beach, Florida. I'm going to bring another video to you of a sunshade that I've had several calls on where people were like, could you do this to my flats boat? And I was always like, I think so. I've never tried it, but I think it would work. And this is a customer of mine. This is a 2014 23-foot Egret. It's a real piece of eye candy boat. We built him a full boat cover back in 2014. Still looks like new. And look at his boat. His boat is like a time capsule because of that cover. And now he brought me this boat and said, I want a sunshade. And I'm like, great. You know, I've been wanting to try this. So we had to install 2 rod holders forward on this boat. And of course, we used the Mate series rod holders. You can see them right here. We put in 2 30-degree combination cup rod holders. This boat had 0 tolerance. It could only go in one spot. If you were off by a 1/4 of an inch one way or another, you would have been in trouble. I think we measured for 5 hours before we drilled the first 1/8 inch hole in this boat. That's how tight the tolerances were. We were a little nervous. The back poles are real short. They're just little 33-inch stubby ones, and they go on these rod holders on the back of the push-pull platform, which most flats boats have rod holders like this. So if you have these, you'd start there. So here, I'm going to take a 23-foot flats boat with no shade on it, and I'm going to set this thing up, and you're going to see how amazing it is. This boat has more shade than a 35-foot center console. I had no idea it was going to be this large, but this shade wound up being 15 feet from front to back. I was a little nervous because I had never done 15 feet, you know, without at least attaching to a hard top. So I was like, man, I hope this thing pulls out nice. These little short poles are going to store easily anywheres in the boat. The reason I didn't make a bag for the forward ones is because this boat has some long rod storage on the sides, and if I made a bag, it wouldn't fit in that rod storage. So what I'm thinking is this particular one, you'll put these, because these forward poles are 73 inches long, because you got to figure a flats boat, the gunnel is so low that those rod holders, you know, are so close to the deck that you need pretty long poles to get you some headroom. So I'm going to crank this nice and tight like that, wrap my string around it, and you see, I didn't time it, but you can see this whole thing goes up in like 2 minutes. So, you know, you can be out fishing, want to have lunch, set this up. If you're at a sandbar, set it up for the day. It's just really, really easy to set up. Tighten that up, wrap this around. Now, being that it's so long, I usually don't make a 15-foot shade with 2 poles. It's usually 4 poles rather. It's usually 4 poles, and then it attaches to the hardtop. So look how she's stretched out with 4 poles. So you have 15 feet of coverage from front to back, and it's 95 inches wide in the front. Because we used 30-degree rod holders, they went out real nice. So you got 95 there. I believe the back was 50 inches wide. You got a small sail cut on the front on all four sides, and now your flats boat has shade.
Can you stand?
I didn't build it tall enough for me to stand because, you know, I figure this is a sit-down boat. Now he's a short person. I had my wife come in here. She can stand and walk around anywhere. So I'm 6'3", so I didn't build it for me. If you're sitting down, because if you build a shade too tall, you're going to lose shade because the sun's coming at you from all angles. So if you're like, oh, I want it so 7 feet in the air so I can walk all over, that's a mistake. The lower you build it, the more shade you're going to get, and that's what you're doing. You're building shade here. So you don't want to go too tall. So you're better off, you know, just ducking down a little bit to get from spot to spot and not have this thing too tall. We can ship you this anywheres in the country. You know, I'll have you stick some makeshift poles in the back rod holders, some makeshift poles in the front rod holders. I'll have you run a string line so we can determine what height you desire. And once we figure that out, we'll know what length poles to ship you. And we'll ship you those poles, a string to string it up. I'll teach you how to give me the measurements that I require, and then we ship you the shade. Easy peasy. Turn out just like this. Now, if your boat doesn't have rod holders in the front, don't worry about it. You know, you just have to measure for 3 hours before you drill the hole. But these Mate Series combination cup rod holders are, in my opinion, the nicest rod holder on the market. They come with real substantial backing plates. So you could take these 1.25 inch stainless steel poles and torque on them, and nothing is cracking or moving or vibrating because of these substantial backing plates that these Mate Series come with. And it's a cup holder. You know, in case you're not using the shade, you can use it as a cup holder or a rod holder. And when you order from mateseries.com, you know, other places sell Mate Series and my product code won't work. But if you actually go to mateseries.com and you type in Canvas Factory, that's a 20% promotion code. And you know, you always want to get the backing plates. That's the most important thing. I'll have a link in the description for that. What's so sweet about a combination cup rod holder is instead of putting in a 30-degree rod holder and having to figure out how to drill that angle and what angle you actually want is very difficult for, you know, someone who doesn't do it for a living. This is a straight down 3¼ inch hole. You drop the rod holder in there, you could stick a broomstick in there, a fishing pole, and you can spin it like a sundial and say, do I want it straight out? Do I want it forward a little bit? And when you find that sweet spot, you mark the 3 holes with a pencil, drill and mount your through bolts, do the exact same thing on the other side. And exact is important because, believe it or not, if you're a 1/4 inch off at the bottom, like if you have 1/4 inch kicked more than the other, by the time you get up 6 feet high, it can be off by 8 inches. I have a dozen more videos on my channel if you want to see how I build custom covers, or even if you want to get ideas for custom covers for your boat. If you want a sunshade, we have a lot of different sunshade videos on different boats. You can get ideas there. And like I said, we can walk you through the rod holder installation, whether you should use a 15-degree, a 0-degree, a 30-degree, what angle to face it. We can walk you through the entire process to build you a shade, no matter where you're at. That's it. I hope you like it, and if you want one, we can build you one. All of our information will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching.
Canvas Factory is located in Pompano Beach, Florida. We have been in business since 1985, and we take pride in our quality custom work. For more pictures, you can visit our website, boatcanvasfactory.com. The link will also be in the description. We specialize in T-tops, biminis, full boat covers, engine covers, sunshades for both the forward and aft of your boat, windshield back covers, bolsters and cushions, helm seat covers, consoles/instrument covers, enclosures of all sizes including acrylic panels, as well as isinglass panels that you can roll up. We also do repairs as well as waterproof your old canvas if the waterproofing has worn out, as well as much more. For example, custom barbecue covers, carpet, as well as carpet runners. Give us a call and let us manufacture you an effective and attractive custom work of art for your boat. You can find further contact information in the description.